Tonight on Newsnight, how one college student is helping with Puerto Rican relief.
Plus, the latest on Pittsburgh's bid to host Amazon's headquarters.
And we'll take a look at weather for the week ahead. Newsnight begins now. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Nick Tommarello alongside Alex Grubbs. We begin tonight with news from Carnegie Mellon. Local Carnegie Mellon student Rosanna Guarneca is on a mission to raise money for a third plane filled with medical aid supplies to Puerto Rico. On September 20th, Hurricane Maria hit the mainland, completely devastating the island. Guarneca told a Post-Gazette reporter that she got the idea when she heard stories of wealthy people getting off the island by chartering a plane. She has already sent 2 planes filled with supplies and brought back many Puerto Ricans that have serious health issues. Now, as of Tuesday morning, her fundraiser has reached $94,000 and is still growing to a goal of $125,000. In a statement provided on her fundraiser page, Guarneca describes how desperate everyone is to help the island, but they don't seem to know how they can help. She continues to write, quote, "No one person can solve these issues. No one government can help the island. There is money being raised that won't keep people from dying, that won't get people the help that they need in time," end quote. If you would like to donate to Miss Guarneca's cause, you can go to www.ucaring.com/Victims of Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico -964958.
Pittsburgh made the top list of getting Amazon's HQ2, according to a list compiled by Moody's Analytics. Reported by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Steel City ranked number 5, behind Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Rochester, New York, in getting the Seattle-based company's second headquarters. It is estimated that over 50,000 jobs and about $5 billion in investment may make its way to the city if Pittsburgh is selected. Taking a more subjective route, Moody's Analytics also rated the burg as the second city with the most favorable geography, trailing behind Philadelphia, making Pennsylvania an ideal place for the new Amazon location, per Moody's. The firm also pointed out that in its findings, that Pittsburgh is an up-and-coming technology hub and that Amazon already has a presence in the Southside Works. However, because of the state's financial issues, it may be hard for either of the 2 PA cities to reel in the company. Each city's proposal for Amazon to open an HQ in Pittsburgh are due by Thursday.
It's not just Amazon causing a flurry of discussion. Here now with the check of the weather is Sarah Gibson. Sarah?
Hey, thanks guys. Well, it looks like we're going to start off the week over here. It's going to be cooler in the beginning of the week. We finally think that we're getting to that fall weather. You might want to break out a jacket. It's going to be a little bit colder. We're going to have lows of 46 during the beginning of the week, which is colder than it's been recently. And then as we get later in the week, it's going to get warmer and warmer. And then by the end of the week on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be back at 76 and 77. It just seems like this summery weather isn't going to end. So you might want to break out the aviators and grab a Frisbee because it looks like the weekend is going to be quite nice. That's it for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Sarah. When we return, a look at how people are helping one last Vegas survivor's recovery. And the latest on wildfires raging on the West Coast. And we'll have Casey Hoolahan with us with the latest campus news.
Welcome back to Newsnight. 2 weeks ago, Tina Frost was shot in the head in the Las Vegas massacre that killed 58 and injured over 500. And now she has begun taking her first steps since the tragedy. According to CNN, the 27-year-old took her first steps from her hospital bed to a chair and back to the bed with nurse assistance. The news of the walk comes from a GoFundMe page set up for her recovery. Well, not only her mobility has been affected as her right eye has been damaged from the bullet wound. The fundraiser page also said she's making significant progress in breathing and tapping her feet to music. After the shooting, the Crofton, Maryland native was in a coma for days at Las Vegas' Sunrise Hospital. Although only trying to raise $50,000, the page has raised more than $500,000. She has returned to Maryland from Vegas and will continue her recovery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore.
According to a report by CNN, there are 15 major wildfires that are still burning throughout the state of California, destroying more than 5,700 buildings and 217,000 acres of land. at least 40 people have died. On October 15th, Senator Mike McGuire, who represents the North Bay in California, tweeted about the destruction in Sonoma County, writing, quote, "There are simply no words to describe the sorrow. Initial damage assessments for unincorporated Sonoma County are in 3,819 destroyed parcels, $2,019 million. When Santa Rosa is combined, damage estimates top $3 billion. Unfortunately, estimates are expected to grow this week." End quote. Napa County Public Health Officer Dr. Karen Relucio is warning locals of the environmental and health risks. In an interview, Relucio states that, quote, "The ash in the debris is very toxic. You have lots of chemicals in plastic and paint burned down," end quote. Relucio says that anyone who plans on returning to their properties should protect their bodies by wearing long sleeves and pants, boots and protective eyeglasses, and a mask to protect the lungs.
We turn now to news closer to home. We have Casey Hoolahan joining us now with the latest in campus news. Casey.
Thanks, Alex. Here are the top stories from campus this week, courtesy of our partners at the Point Park Globe. We've been following the Pitt murder case here on Newsnight, and Nicole Cost from the Globe had the chance to interview one of the victim, Alina Shiket's roommates, Point Park student Zach Brander. Brander met Shiket his freshman year at the University of Pitt in Greensburg before transferring to Point Park. Brander accompanied Shiket's parents when they discovered their daughter's body. In an update from the criminal complaint, it was reported that Shiket suffered from injuries such as a fractured skull, broken nose, 7 lost teeth, and other trauma. In retrospect, Brander believes Shiket's killer, Matthew Darby, had attempted to kill her previously when he had broken into their apartment. Brander and his other roommates have all since moved out of the Oakland apartment. And in case you missed it, last week the Student Health Center held their annual Health and Wellness Fair in Lawrence Hall's lobby. The fair featured organizations from across Pittsburgh offering information to students on topics from healthy eating to mental health and more. If you missed the fair and are looking for more information, you can visit the Student Health Office on the second floor of Thayer Hall. And during the most recent meeting of the United Student Government, representatives from Point Park's food provider, Culinar, joined students to address issues and questions from the student body. Culinar addressed issues such as what defines a meal swipe in the cafe, catering options between Culinar and student body clubs, and recent food safety concerns. If you're wondering where unbought food goes post-printed expiration date, according to Culinar representatives, unspoiled food from the cafe and dining hall is donated to 412 Food Rescue. If students have more questions or concerns for Culinar, they can stop by their offices located in the cafe. And finally, in the season of spooky movies, last week the Honors Program hosted a screening of the classic 1984 thriller Children of the Corn in the George Roland White Theater on campus. In addition to the screening, the event included a talk with the director of the film, Fritz Kirsch, who is also the vice president of student affairs. Students were provided with corn-themed foods such as corn dogs, candy corn, and of course popcorn. That's your latest campus news. For more information, make sure to check out the latest issue of the Globe. Let's head back over to Alex and Nick at the desk.
Coming up, the latest news from Somalia.
Plus, we'll bring you up to date on the Catalan independence movement in Spain.
And we'll take a look at the world of sports with Sara Mackulin. We'll be right back.
According to a report by the BBC, Spain has detained 2 key members of the Catalan independence movement, Jordi Sanchez and Jordi Cuixart, who are prominent leaders of the separatist groups that are being held without bail while they are under investigation for sedition. Catalonia is located in northeastern Spain and has its own language, flag, anthem, and parliament. Because of this, the majority of the Catalonian population wants to become their own country and secede from Spain. The Catalonian parliament agreed to a referendum that would begin the process of becoming an independent nation, but Spain won't allow it. The government tried to stop the voting, sometimes leading to violence against the voters. The BBC states that depending on the Catalan government's answer to whether or not it has declared actual independence, the Spanish central government could take control of the region.
Over in Somalia, more than 300 people have been killed and over 400 injured after a car bombing in Mogadishu. Reported by the Washington Post, the Somalian government said the death toll is set to rise as funerals continue. The bombing happened on a busy street in the Somalian capital on Saturday. The government is currently pointing to al-Shabaab linked to al-Qaeda for the attack, although it has not claimed responsibility for it. Being one of the deadliest attacks in sub-Saharan Africa, analysts doubt al-Shabaab is behind the attacks. Dozens are still missing since the attack. According to police captain Mohammed Hussein, he believes some bodies turned to ashes in the attack. Hospitals in Mogadishu are also struggling to care for all the victims as the death toll rises. 3 days of mourning have been declared due to the attack.
Moving now to the world of sports, we have Sara Mackulin with us to bring us up to speed on the latest sports news. Sarah?
Thanks, guys. Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up Week 6 of the regular season. But one's news is better than the other's. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady reached a career milestone on Sunday that is one for the record books. The three-time Super Bowl MVP recorded his 187th career regular season win on Sunday in the Patriots' 24-17 victory over the New York Jets. He surpassed Hall of Famer Brett Favre and two-time Super Bowl winner Peyton Manning for the most regular season wins by a quarterback in NFL history. Now on to a quarterback who may not be recording any more wins this season. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered a broken right collarbone in the first quarter of Sunday's loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Rodgers will undergo surgery and his status for the remainder of the season is unknown. Backup quarterback Brett Hundley will be called upon to fill the shoes of the former regular season MVP. Now on to the ice. The Penguins defeated the Florida Panthers at home Saturday night by a final score of 4-3. Sidney Crosby led the way with 2 goals, and Greg McKegg scored his first goal as a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The real headline, however, was Matt Murray, who recorded his 44th win as a Penguin, tying current general manager Jim Rutherford for 10th most wins by a goalie in Penguins history. The Pens return to the ice tonight to face the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Currently, the game is tied 3-3 at the end of the second period. The Penguins were not the only NHL team to make record headlines this weekend. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens faced off Saturday night in the Canadian rivalry. Prior to the matchup, the Montreal Canadiens had won the last 14 contests in a row between the two teams. However, Toronto brought that streak to an end Saturday night. The Maple Leafs defeated the Canadiens in overtime 4-3 thanks to a goal by 20-year-old star center Austin Matthews. The teams will renew the rivalry 3 more times this season, and we will see if a new streak begins. On the diamond, the MLB playoffs continue on, and there are now only 4 teams left. In the National League, the Chicago Cubs outlasted the Washington Nationals, and the Los Angeles Dodgers took care of the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Cubs and Dodgers opened up the National League Championship Series on Saturday, and the Dodgers came away with a 5-2 victory. On Sunday, Dodgers third baseman Justin Turner walked it off with a 3-run home run, giving the Dodgers a 2-0 lead in the series. The teams meet again tonight at 9 o'clock in Game 3. In the American League, the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees are facing off in the American League Championship Series. The Astros defeated the Boston Red Sox in 4 games to secure their ticket to the championship series, while the Yankees came back from a 2-0 deficit to steal the series from the Cleveland Indians and earn their way to the ALCS. The Astros took a 2-game lead after defeating the Yankees over the weekend in back-to-back games by the same score of 2-1. The Yankees answered back strong in Game 3, however, taking down the Astros 8-1, an offensive night sparked by a 3-run home run by Todd Frazier. Game 4 of the series just wrapped up with the Yankees coming from behind and winning the game 6-4. That's all I have for sports. Let's take it back to the desk to Alex and Nick.
Thanks, Sarah. That would have been cool if the Pirates went, but you can't really cry about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tommarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.